Hello, and welcome to episode 3 of That's So Fashion. I think it's on episode 3, I'm losing my mind.
Yeah, episode 3.
Wonderful. My name is Chris,
And I'm John.
and welcome to this episode, which is going to be on John's amazing wedding. We're in the midst of wedding season. People are going to weddings left, right, and centre.
Absolutely, we've all been there.
Every weekend, someone's getting hitched. Congrats on that. John does it slightly differently. Of course he does. John, I have a question.
Yes.
Why have 2 weddings when you can have one?
Well, Christopher, let me tell you, if you are like myself and my now husband, Lee, yes, I know, you are faced with a dilemma when you have so many people who are very close to you and very important to you and your life, or lives rather, who are spread all over the globe. And when we got engaged, which was back in the autumn of 2022, so it's like ages ago already, we had this very early on discussion. Where would we do it? We live in London, our family is all over. How would we go about doing it? Would it be a formal party? Would it be a casual event? So on and so forth. And we sort of almost immediately were thinking the same thing, which was, how is it possible to capture all of the people who are really important to us in one event? So right, so we decided to do 2. And planning 2 weddings is not as easy as it sounds, let me tell you.
It doesn't sound easy. So it doesn't at all.
And it doesn't, in the nicest possible way, it is very stressful. There's a lot of work. I definitely have to give points to all of these people who are professional planners who do a fantastic job. We did everything ourselves. So that did add another layer, working in between, trying to get everything done. But it's just my parents. So I'm from Toronto, as we all know. My parents are there. One of my brothers is there. Another brother and his kids live in Los Angeles. Lee's parents live in Spain, but he's from Wales, so he's got family in Wales. He has family in England. We have friends in different parts of Europe.
Literally global.
Right. We had somebody come in from Australia. So, and so on and so forth. So again, it was just, how do you make it work with all of these people? And then the other thing was, when do you do 2 events? Initially, before even discussing it with Lee, I had thought, okay, we're going to do 2. We've decided on 2. We'll probably have one in June, a party in Toronto, and then maybe like August or even September time, we'll do one in London. So there's a nice gap in between. It prolongs that whole wedding bliss, and it's something really exciting to look forward to. But when it came down to it, the people, as I mentioned, who are the most important to us, so one being my eldest brother, and one being Lee's cousin back in Wales, who's like a sister to him, we had to consider those people. My brother has kids who have already gone back to school, and Lee's cousin is a teacher. And so she, she was sort of working on the school year in South Wales. Her school year didn't end until July, like 28th or something. Whereas my brother's kids were going back to school on the, I don't know, I think on the 19th of August. And so we were left with essentially a 3-week window to have 2 events, one in Toronto, Canada, and one in London, England. And so they were 8 days apart.
That is so tight.
As you know, as you were at one of them.
I was.
But, we did do the majority of our planning early on. We were really smart to, make 100 spreadsheets, get everything going as early as possible, and try to avoid having this sort of last minute rush where we had to hire in all these people at the very end, when we really wanted to just try to relax and focus on what we were going to wear and look and feel our best. And it worked in our favor. It was the right way to do it.
You did an absolutely amazing job. Every detail was catered for. Oh, you should have been there, truly.
Well, maybe some of them were. It depends who's watching.
Well, absolutely. If you were there, reach out. Let us know what we thought. It was gorgeous. Every detail you could see, like the thought that's gone into it, and planning for so long, but planning 2 is such an achievement. To get everyone catered for, every detail in place, for 8 days apart is.
And it was, as I say, it was not quite as simple as I keep saying as it sounds. It was not easy. And also you'd think, okay, you're planning a wedding. They're essentially the same thing everywhere you go. But the way people operate in Toronto versus the way people operate in London were completely different. So we couldn't use any kind of formula to do both. So everything had to be done in its own way.
It was like a tailor-made wedding.
Oh, absolutely. As it is. And it was great though. So Toronto was a traditional Jewish wedding. I'm Jewish. And so we had our Jewish marriage license. We signed it with everybody there. We had friends and family from, I was going to say the audience, not the audience, from like the
ensemble.
Yes, thank you. Come and do some readings for us. And it was really, really spectacular. People, we didn't tell them either, because the man who was marrying us had suggested it in the first place, which was a lovely, lovely suggestion. But he had said from his own experience, if you tell people that you're going to have them do a reading as part of your ceremony, they won't really be paying attention to your ceremony. They will be holding their piece of paper the whole time, practicing it, obsessing over it. They will miss everything. Exactly. They will miss everything. They will just be waiting to hear their name. They will come up, read it very almost robotically, and they will go and sit down. And we didn't like hearing that. So we took his advice. We didn't tell anyone. There were 7 people who did readings for us. And then we had family and friends do the witnessing for our marriage certificate in Toronto. They did know about that though, because that they had to know. And it was amazing. Like we, had our beautiful ceremony. We invited our people up to do these readings. Everybody came up to us after to say how it really felt like an honor. They had no idea, which was, of course, as I say, the whole point. We were very fortunate in that none of the people that we asked to come up were nervous and struggled through the reading, because you never know. That was a risk we were willing to take. It was really, really beautifully done. It was very important to Lee and I. We wanted our weddings, but especially this ceremony in Toronto, to feel like us, like everybody who was there was invited there for a purpose. The purpose being they mattered to us, and it wasn't just a room full of fluff. And it was really, really something special.
God, it must have been so emotional.
It was very beautiful.
In a good way,
no, absolutely. It was beautiful. I mean, London wasn't that different, but we'll get to that. But we also had people do things for us during our London ceremony. It was very special. And it was nice. I never would have thought in a million years that I would have 2 weddings that were to the same person. And then although I don't intend to have more than 2. And also a week apart. It was just, I still can't believe it. It's just crazy.
The logistics that have gone into it, like for years to come, you'll look back and go, how did we actually do that?
Absolutely. Well, it was 20 months in the making. And which is an awfully long time, juggling work and other things in between, and traveling for holidays, Christmas, and visiting my family, and all the things that we did. And it was fun. We got to do menu tastings in 2 cities, which I'd never done before. So that was really cool and very exciting. And we got to, experience beautiful venues and meet really nice people and decorate and discuss fashion and what people were going to wear. And everyone looked beautiful. It was really exciting.
Well, it was going to be one of my questions is,
tell me.
How does it differ having between Canadian wedding and a British wedding over here, with what people wear? How do people interact with it? Is it an event fashion thing? Is it a fashion thing?
So it's definitely an event fashion thing, although it is different between the 2 cities, and I will fill you in. But it's interesting. Like, I think that people sort of stop and think, I need to look like a wedding guest. How do I look like a wedding guest? So there wasn't anybody, apart actually from yourselves, who looked really, I want to say, fashion. There were people who were really fashionable and dressed really beautifully, but they were dressed really beautifully for a wedding.
In wedding mode.
Right, which I love. Don't get me wrong. I mean, I've got 3 tuxedos at home, so I'm, wedding ready all the time. But Toronto was a much more traditional style party. It was black tie welcome, which is very common for the community back home. I've been to countless black tie weddings. It's sort of expected, I think, to a degree. Maybe not as much anymore, because I think people are less rigid when it comes to fashion, but it is definitely something that is expected there. And we did rent tuxes for friends who were traveling in from the UK who just don't have those sorts of things.
Mm-hmm.
But that was 6 people. I mean, we had over 200 guests, and I would say whatever the percentage was there who were wearing tuxedos was more than you would probably expect. Yeah. It was really great, though. I love that. You know, you have this beautiful formal ballroom in a hotel, and it was decorated lovely, and there were trees brought in with lights in them.
I saw the photos.
It was really elegant and
gorgeous.
And you know, you've got your guests there in tuxes and beautiful gowns, floor length, lots of color. We really tried to encourage color. It really did feel, I won't go as far as saying it wasn't a red carpet. It wasn't the Met Gala, but it was quite beautiful. We had a few friends wearing some absolutely stunning pieces. One friend was wearing this, as she described it, not dissimilar from your color here. She said it was high vis orange.
Love it. Love it already.
It was absolutely stunning. It was this beautiful Jenny Packham gown. It had these like wings in chiffon, and it was this beautiful Duchess satin, I believe, gown, floor length, high neck with this quite thick, like 10 centimeter jeweled collar that went all the way around in sort of orange and red. It was really spectacular. And it really, stunning. It absolutely was. And it really was the sort of thing that you wouldn't be surprised if a celebrity was wearing it on a red carpet somewhere, because it was really bold in its color and it was a really striking look. And that was something that really stood out in the evening. My mother-in-law wore this unbelievable Alex Perry gown that was sort of like a fuchsia color. Again, floor length, Duchess satin. No, it wasn't. It was satin crepe. It had a very beautiful deep neckline, and it had a full length cape that was attached from the shoulders that you could kind of swing open or close. And she sort of just glided through this room, which was this amazing ballroom, you know, as I say, floor to ceiling windows and whatnot, and there was daylight at first.
That's unbelievably chic.
It was everything. It was amazing.
I really hope that she had a constant soundtrack when she entered a room and that followed her wherever she went, because that sounds utterly dramatic and I love it.
It was everything. It was so dramatic. It was so beautiful. And at first she was really excited by the gown. Then she was a little bit nervous about wearing it, which is understandable. She doesn't normally wear dresses like that. But like Lee kept saying to his mother, like, you've got to own it. Like, you know, just chest back, shoulders back, chest out, like look your best. And she looked unbelievable. It was absolutely stunning. Wow. And, you know, there were some really beautiful black gowns there. A friend of mine was wearing this Proenja Schuler strapless thing that was amazing. And one of my friends, Eden, I've made a lot of clothes for her for television. And she was wearing a dress that actually I had made, this beautiful printed silk purple gown, which was really such a nice surprise to see somebody actually wearing one of my own things.
Wow.
I had made it for her, so it fit her already beautifully. Yeah. But it really was striking and beautiful, and that was very exciting. So every time I like caught a glimpse of her amidst like all of the guests, it was like, oh, that's one of mine.
And like, it's like your own wedding, and you get like an extra layer of joy.
Oh yeah, it was just beautiful, and that really was like a real kind of red carpet moment for me. I was like, where's the photographer? Like, we need to take a photo in the window. Like, it was really beautiful.
Did you get the photo in the window?
We didn't get one in the window, but we did get a bunch.
Okay, good.
So we will have to make up for that in the future.
Okay, wonderful.
But at least now now I know people at the hotel, so I can always call them up and say, can we come by for a photo shoot one day? But so that was really, really beautiful to see the fashions people wore. And again, to go back to your question, in Toronto, we did a very formal event. It was black tie, as I mentioned. It was tuxedos and gowns. We really did try to encourage as much color as possible. There were a lot of beads, there were a lot of sequins, there were a lot of jewels. It was very, very glamorous, and it was quite chic. I think one of the things I'm most looking forward to, apart from seeing a sort of family photos and beautiful like keepsake moments, is seeing all our guests in the background and what they were wearing.
Yeah.
One of my friends found this really incredible vintage brocade 50s gown. Actually, again, very similar to this color here. And
almost like I'd planned.
I was just going to say, your color covering every color. And she had it remade with her fabulous seamstress back home, and just looked amazing with her red hair and her green brocade. It was just really, really stunning. So it was very much formal event.
It sounds like a fashion event.
It could have been to a degree, especially a lot of people that, I don't know if it's because it was our wedding and they felt with me they had to look a certain way. I don't know if they, like, nobody came out right to say to me I was really nervous because I didn't want to let you down or anything. It certainly wasn't that kind of vibe. But I did wonder what people would wear.
Is that, or you just have stylish friends?
I don't know, maybe it's a little bit of, it's 80-20, let's say.
Okay, yeah.
But it was great. It was, my sister-in-law wore this amazing dress from a British brand, which I can't think of the name right now, but it was a crocheted, short, hot pink and orange.
Love it already.
Like this big, like a giant cupcake top, kind of, with these beautiful yellow satin shoes with jewels all over them. And she looked like Twiggy. She doesn't look like Twiggy, but it was that kind of very 60s look. It was like psychedelic. It was so cool. And it was sort of, when do you get to wear something like that if you don't have a formal event to go to? Because you wouldn't necessarily wear it to a restaurant. You might wear it to like a London Fashion Week party because you would really want to stand out and look that part. But in your day-to-day life, like, when are you wearing that sort of thing? No, exactly. And I almost think it would be easier to wear, your black velvet, like, floor-length gown than it would to wear a hot pink and orange crocheted mini.
It does sound quite niche.
Right? Do you know what I'm saying? It was amazing, though. So she looked quite cool. And then, you sort of juxtapose that with London. So the Toronto wedding was in a hotel.
I love how your tone dips in. And then there's London.
No. London was chic, don't get me wrong. But you got to sort of like think. They were both in hotels.
Yeah.
One of them was in the King Edward Hotel. That's in Toronto. It's old by our standards. Toronto is not as an old city as London. And so, you're in a hotel built in the late 1800s. It was very beautiful. The room was really beautiful. As I say, high ceilings. It was originally built as a concert hall. So it's got this really beautiful domed ceiling. It's very cool. Lovely. And it's on the top floor of a building, and you can see the lake from the window. Like, it was real picturesque. It was really stunning. But then you come to London, and it was at the St. Pancras Hotel. So iconic building, really beautifully restored, grade 1 listed. We weren't allowed to touch anything. Didn't matter, didn't need to. We had, brought in a florist who did an exceptional job. That was the only decorating we had. We didn't need anything else. The room was... Thank you. The room itself was just so beautiful. Rooms, rather. And so we thought, okay, how are we going to sort of style this wedding? How do we want people to dress? And we figured, we're doing black tie in Toronto. That's not really a thing here. We don't need to wear tuxedos twice. So we just said, I think it's lounge suits was the kind of terminology over here. And so people just wore their best. They looked fab. There were a bunch of pink suits there. George, actually, your George was one of them.
Yeah.
So I was quite happy to see a lot of really colorful men's tailoring. You don't always see that.
No, you don't, no.
And so there were...
George will be happy to hear you say that.
Yeah. And I'll tell you, there were 4 gentlemen there wearing ranges of pink and salmon. And I feel like that's
the memo must have been sent out.
Yeah, well, I was going to say, and I feel like that's quite a lot.
Yeah.
And so that was really exciting, and everybody was wearing their best. But I noticed it was how I've experienced like an English wedding. So a lot softer, floral dresses, less of a fashion event, and or even event dressing, and what just felt more of a...
It's kind of like you go to like an English garden. It's kind of that kind of vibe when you go to a wedding, isn't it?
Yes, very much so.
Yeah.
So there was a lot of that. There were a lot of florals. It was really beautiful. And people, again, looking their best. There were a lot of fascinators, which we don't get back home. So there was a lot of color and feathers and different styles, which was really exciting and really great. There were some people wearing really bold colors as well. Again, there was a friend of Lee's wearing another orange dress similar to this that really stood out beautifully. One girl was wearing a really stunning pink pleated, rose printed silk satin dress that was really striking. That was beautiful, which I loved. But it did feel like there was less dressing fashion because of me, not because of me, but that's how in my mind it was. And more people wearing what they would wear to an English wedding. But looking their absolute best. Oh my God, everyone looked so stunning. Although I did have one friend who came up from Brighton. We studied together. She works in fashion as well. And she works in footwear like I do. And I think she had 4 outfit changes. She got a room in the hotel so that, and she was saying, I don't know what to wear. I'm not sure. I'm going to bring them all with me. And I think it was 4 dresses that she wore that evening. Wow. Between the ceremony and the party. And it wasn't like, oh, another dress. It was like, oh my God, another dress and another pair of shoes and another handbag. It was amazing.
That's dedication to the cause.
It was really spectacular. And I mean, they were beautiful, beautiful clothes as well. But that was really fun. Like seeing somebody actually wear something every, I don't know, quarter different. Like who does that? But if you're staying in the hotel and you've got it, then why not?
Exactly.
And again, when do you have the opportunity to do that? Yeah. Right? So that was quite fun. But I mean, there were elements of it that were really sweet. Like I had some custom fabric made for my dad for him to make a shirt. He wanted a polka dot shirt that was for him a nod to a time, a specific photo of Bob Dylan wearing a beautiful polka dot shirt. He'd been talking about it forever. My dad's super fashionable. I know I've mentioned this before.
He is. He really is. You should see it. I'd say you should see a photo, but you won't find one anywhere.
No, there are no photos of him. He doesn't allow it.
No.
But he had on this fabulous shadow stripe suit and this amazing tie that we were looking for ties for myself to wear. And he pulled one out. He's like, God, I forgot about this. I bought it in the 90s. And it was this sort of checkerboard with flowers like printed over it. And then this really bold black and white silk polka dot shirt. And he looked amazing. So it was great, though, having the fabric custom made for him, sending it off to his people in Italy, having the shirt done. My mother, actually, for both events, wanted to have something custom made. She didn't want to take a chance wearing what one of her friends might have been wearing. And so I had bought this really beautiful cut velvet, what do we call it here? I think you call it Devore, I think. So it was like a purple chiffon with these bold, bold color velvet roses all over it, quite large. With gold trims. She had a gown made for Toronto, which was amazing. And then she had this beautiful caftan made for London.
Yeah, she looked stunning.
You saw. It was really like something that she was a little bit unsure about wearing. She's never worn anything like that before, but it's very much the style. And she was saying it reminded her of the 70s, and that's like her youth. And so that was fabulous. And
which actually compliments your dad as well.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
And they are very much a cool pair together. You know, she had her big gold platforms. It was great. And I went to Vivi Rouleau, the ribbon shop in Marylebone. And I had picked up for her, she needed a trim for this caftan. And I'd seen the fabric online. Like she sent me a photo. And I knew what I had in mind that would just make it feel perfect and so chic. And so I went to Vivi Rouleau. I looked in their trim section. And what I ended up finding was this really beautiful glass beaded fringe in like a kind of gold honey color. And when I bought them, I bought out the entire store. I said I needed all 10 meters or whatever it was, 12 meters. And it turns out they are actually trim for lampshades. And so I told my mom, and she's like, what do you mean? I can't put a lampshade trim. I was like, you've got to look at it from a different perspective. And just know that it will be beautiful and it will elevate the look completely. So that was quite nice.
Which is a gorgeous testament, again, that we usually say, what we've said in both episodes so far, the testament of fashion that you can pull from anywhere.
Yes.
And make it look amazing. She looked incredible.
Yeah, it was beautiful.
She looked stunning.
And she was really happy about it. And she said, like, look how great it looks, like on her arm and on the thing. And nobody would have anything like it. And I can't believe it's from a lampshade. Like it was... or intended for rather. And it was just really cute because, you know, she was very excited about it and that was lovely. And we normally buy fabrics together and she has things made. She'll fly to London, visit me, we'll pick up some stuff. Like, so it's not like it was the first time we've done this, but it was really fun. And it was nice to bring a bit of that. I mean, I didn't make them, so I guess it wasn't my home sewing, but, you know, couturier custom kind of garmentry into like, my tuxedo for Toronto was tailor-made here in London. And Lee's tux for Toronto was tailor-made in Toronto, actually. So there was that element there. My brothers wore tuxes. They'd had them done at one point. I'm sure there were friends of ours who had things made as well. But at least from my perspective, it was really nice to have my hand in something that someone was wearing.
Yeah.
I did make a leather bolo tie for Lee to wear, so that was quite fun. And I did customize one of his shirts to make it a short sleeve for later in the evening so that he could feel a little bit more relaxed for the party. It was the same tux shirt that he was wearing.
Yeah.
You would have seen him wear it in London, but I did the sleeves for him. So it was just, a little bit of a pleat detail, a little bit of like mother of pearl button, like nothing crazy, but it was nice to do those little details.
But it really adds up to build a picture.
Yeah.
You both looked incredible, but it's the little details, and that's kind of what I mean. Like, you really thought of every detail down to what buttons.
Yeah. Well, it was
were wearing.
That was the thing, right? I mean, we wanted it to feel special and like us, and we were very detail-oriented people.
Yeah.
When we started planning this events rather, it was, okay, where are we doing it? How's it going to look? Minimal decoration. You pick somewhere that's already a beautiful space. So we didn't really feel the need to kind of make it feel over the top. So what colors do we like? What flowers mean things to us? We picked little daisies for Lee's sister. We picked colors that really spoke to us. We went to see the people that we knew we wanted to do our work with, really good music, really good food. Flowers were really important to us. I know you took some home from the venue, which was great.
They came straight home with me. I'll post a picture of it so you can see how gorgeous they were.
Thank you. And so these were things that were really important to us. And for us, felt like us. We designed a monogram together in Toronto. We had them, they do this there very often. They wrap the dance floor in like vinyl. So it was just all white. The room was mostly white. Just that's the nature of the room. So we did a white dance floor so it wouldn't stand out as this like black wooden floor with our giant monogram in the center. It was very cute. And it didn't need to be, but it was just a little detail. Well, exactly. And I know that's not fashion, but it's still part of that creative space and wanting to complete a look, essentially.
Yeah, but I mean, like you say, it's not fashion, but what is fashion if not a way of expressing what you feel and what you want, and that can extend to the area around you. So
yeah,
it's like it's technically interior design to a degree, but having that extension of yourselves go onto the floor, it's almost like you've brought your fashion into your wedding space.
Yes,
by having an own monogram, which is traditionally for fashion.
Well, that's very true, actually. And I monogram everything. So thank you for reminding. My jacket inside, all my bags, the floor where we got married. It was great.
Yeah.
And we carried that theme throughout. Like, we did our invitations that way. We'd had black and white. We did the monogram on the back.
I wanted to talk about your invitations.
Oh, did you? Well, that's talk. Tell me.
Ladies and gents, viewers, listeners, everyone in between. John he had two weddings, as we know, so for each wedding he had a different invitation, and each invitation, when put together, am I right?
Yeah.
Makes one singular invitation piece, however you want to word it.
Yes.
So that you can frame it.
Yeah.
That is the next level extra that I've come to expect from you. It's so gorge. Like, to intricately design both weddings invitations separately with the forethought of having them interweave at the end is mwah! I take my hat off to
you. God, you make me sound crazy. No, I'm just joking.
Not crazy at all.
It was
it's such a nice touch, truly, because like not only have you arranged, created, organised these two, I mean, from everyone who's got married, you'll know that it's a huge thing, a huge undertaking. Like,
absolutely.
Planning it is like, oh my God. So to do it twice within 8 days of each other is huge. Right down to how the invitations look it's just incredible.
Well, thank you. It was something that we really enjoyed doing, though. That's the thing. It was, as much as it's a lot of work, we're both creative people. It was in a really creative space. It was a labor of love. By the end, though, Lee was saying like it feels like a full-time job and I'm over it. But then that was 2 weeks leading up to it.
Yeah, I mean, who doesn't think?
Well, exactly, right. Yeah. And there were last-minute things that needed to be done, or things that didn't work out, or people that couldn't come, and you're rejigging a room. Like, I mean, that is.
I suppose that's like things accelerate closer to the event, don't they?
Yeah.
Suddenly, we need to get this now, or this moved, or this has changed, or something happens at the event space, or
absolutely. And I mean, there was an element too that I didn't think of at all, if I'm totally honest. Of course, now going forward, if we ever planned any other kind of event, I would be aware of it. Was we started planning really early. We wanted to not have to think about it leading up to the parties, plural. We wanted to have those few weeks in London before we traveled, and those couple of weeks in Toronto when we had a few appointments planned, to just try to be as relaxed and as calm as possible.
Mm-hmm.
Now, in theory, you would think that works. We started planning 20 months in advance, and we had a million spreadsheets. I say we, Lee did them all. He's brilliant.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not very good at that. And why wouldn't that work? Well, the only thing that neither of us thought of, or at least I certainly didn't, is though we were ready to move forward on several different things, the people we hired to do those things, whether it be the band or the florist or the whomever, they weren't ready to do them. Yeah. They were busy with their other events. I personally did not think of this. And so we were sort of faced with, emails and phone calls to certain vendors. We really want to get that done. We'd really like to check it off our list. And they're like, okay, well, that's no problem. We totally get what you're saying, but come back to us like a month before the wedding or 2 weeks before the wedding. It's like, what are you talking about? We've got 6 months to go. We're ready to go.
Yeah.
And you just couldn't get other people to sort of fall into your schedule.
I mean, God, if that's not a testament to life, I don't know.
Right? No, of course.
That right there is that's.
So that was definitely something that I could do without. But I mean, it was a learning experience.
True, but even with that in mind, you pulled off 2 incredible events. Like, wow! Like you made clothes for it. You had things tailored for it. Like everything was thought of and was executed perfectly.
Well, thank you. And it was lovely. Like in London, I know I said earlier I was going to mention it. Like we had our ceremony at the Old Marylebone Town Hall. It's where I did my citizenship. It's where we live. It was just a real special place for us to do it. And we had a really lovely ceremony, and they recommended something that we'd never heard of called a ring warming. And so you pass your rings throughout the room and everybody holds them and sort of makes a wish for you, which was a really touching and beautiful thing. And then we also had a sand ceremony, which I'd never heard of before. Pardon me.
They are beautiful.
It was beautiful. And so we had 6 different like vials of colored sand in this really beautiful like decanter carafe thing. And we asked our, 6 of our closest sort of family and friends to pour this sand and make this sort of wish for us. And then when we were married, the deputy mayor or registrar, whoever it was, I forget now, presented it to us as this is your first wedding gift, like as a couple. And it was this beautiful thing, and it's on our mantle, and it's colorful, and it represents us, and it's creative, and it's design, and it's fashion, it's all these things. And that was just really beautiful. Yeah. And again, you're in a room full of people and everybody's there for you. It was a really wonderful experience. And
how are you feeling afterwards? Have you still got the afterglow? Have you like exhaled yet from planning it?
I mean, I've definitely exhaled. I will tell you, it's been a week now and I'm exhausted still. But I think, again, traveling to Canada, being there for 3 weeks, being on that time zone, traveling back to London, having 2 days, being with family, let's go, events, rehearsal dinner, beard trims, haircuts, last minute outfit changes, picking up everything, getting it ready, getting to the hotel, having, all of this stuff. And I could sleep for a week.
Not to mention, throughout all of this, you still had commissions to make.
Yes. Well, that's the other thing too, right? Still working, taking Zoom meetings when I was in Toronto and figuring out other projects, which we will talk about later. I know I mentioned to you earlier, there's this upcycling project. I don't know exactly what it is yet, so I don't really want to say too much, but, working on that. And
lots of fingers and lots of pies.
Yeah, and it was great actually, though. When I was in Toronto, was brought with me some toiles that I had made for a commission that I'm currently working on. The client of mine happens to be there, so it worked out quite well. So we got into town a couple of weeks, 2 weeks in advance, I think it was, to the wedding. I needed, 2 days to settle myself in, had my client come by to where we were staying, did a fitting, did video and photos and worked out all those kinks. That was great. So it was nice to have that little kind of, it was just a moment, but it was a really nice moment to sort of break kind of that focus on the wedding, get back to a little bit of work, do this it was a 3-piece tailor-made that I needed to do a fitting for. So that was really useful as well. So that was quite good.
And what do they call, palate cleanser?
Yeah,
almost.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. So that was nice, like you say, being able to do all that in between, and then doing like Zoom calls and various things, and being back now and thinking, okay, at least like I know I've got work sorted out for the next 2 months. And then we'll see what happens sort of leading up to those 2 months, what other jobs sort of fill in between. And obviously we're doing podcasts and we're doing other things. And so it's been difficult to fully exhale, I guess. Whereas I thought the wedding is going to end, our families are all going to go back to their, countries wherever they're from, and I will have a good week to do absolutely nothing, not get out of bed, just really relax. But I haven't had time to do any of that, which is fine. I don't need that, but it would be nice to think, take a whole week and do nothing. But when do you really get to take a whole week and do nothing?
When you book it in.
Yeah, I know, but it's not so simple.
Honestly, that is incredible. I know the fashion world is fast paced, and I know it can be brutal, and it is kind of relentless.
Yes.
That's real testament to not only your dedication to the details with regards to the wedding, but your work ethic and how you just don't stop.
It's very difficult. I mean, I have no problem taking an afternoon nap. It is one of my favorite things to do if I have the time. But I find it difficult to just stop. If I do, it's because I feel burnt out, and I don't like that feeling, because that's not productive. No. Like, who's that helping?
Exactly.
Right? And so it's nice to just know, oh, by the way, thank you for all those kind words. It is You're just welcome. Nice to know, though, that there are things working in the background, and that makes me sleep at night. And you mentioned details, and one thing I did want to say, we were talking fashion and what people were wearing, and I know I mentioned custom fabrics and making gowns for my mom, and my friend wearing one that I made, this beautiful purple, and all these other gowns keep coming back to mind what some people wore. One woman wore this stunning Ep3 silk hand printed floor length flowing, just stunning.
Gorgeous.
But one detail that I wanted to mention was I chose to wear a pink Pucci tie to the wedding in London. Now, it happens to be Pucci, so I'm mentioning it because Pucci does not get enough coverage. But that's not what makes it special. It just happens to be a beautiful Italian brand that everybody should be aware of. But I bought that tie for my dad when I was in high school. So I bought it about, I'm going to say 23, 22 years ago.
Wow.
And he wore it for quite a long time. And then I asked him when I was there in Toronto for our first of 2 weddings, I had said I was, I had my suit with me because I needed to finish tailoring it. Actually, I did tailor my own suit. I guess I did do something. And I had it with me in the city. And I showed it to him. This is the color. This is what I'm thinking of wearing. I'm wearing it with a white shirt, very classic, very crisp. It's an English wedding. I wanted it to kind of feel like an English wedding. And I knew that I wanted to wear that tie. I'd been thinking about it for ages because I thought the color of pink would go so beautifully with the blue of the suit that I was wearing.
Yeah, which it did.
Thank you.
I'll put up the photos, you can see.
Thank you. And so I said to him, I really want to wear that tie. And so I pulled it out. And he said, of course, you can wear it. You can have it. Don't worry, whatever. I haven't worn it in a while. And here's another, 6 options for you. My dad loves his fashion, as we all know. And so he gave me a whole bunch to consider and said, just keep them. It'll be my pleasure. It's for your wedding, whatever. But I was it sounds so silly. I'd been thinking about wearing that tie since I had decided what suit I wanted. So for months, I've been thinking, when I go to Toronto, I'm going to get that pink Pucci tie. I'm going to put it with my suit. It's going to be perfect. It's exactly what I want to wear. It might be a little bit bolder than one would normally pick for the groom's tie to wear to their own wedding, where you'd probably think just classic solid color satin, really elegant. It was pink and brown and black and white. It kind of looked like a peacock, this like swirling design. Really, because I had bought it so many years ago, it's really wide. I think it's like 10 or 11 centimeters. It was like a bold choice.
I'm so glad you wore it. It was gorgeous.
Thank you.
I think I even said on the
night.
You
did. No, you did. And I didn't, and this isn't like in a conceited way, but I just didn't expect to get so many compliments on it and comments on it, because I know it's a bold choice, but in my mind, like, it's just a tie. Like I don't know. I was surprised, so I was very pleased about wearing that.
But I think it kind of goes back to the point of the difference between the two, because when you have a UK wedding,
yes,
people don't tend to wear things that are bold or slightly different, or they'll go with the classics.
Yes.
Like, so a groom will just wear a wedding suit, and usually all the male guests will wear the wedding appropriate suits.
Yes.
So when people wear things that are, a bit bolder or a bit different, or they've got different pattern or shape or whatever, it really does stand out, and it does make it look so much more elevated.
Absolutely.
And it was one of the first details I spotted. Obviously, it was a bit kind of crazy initially, but one of the first details I spotted, I thought, that is so you, and it's such a good choice to wear.
Well, thank you.
It was stunning, absolutely stunning.
I was really...
you both looked great, fantastic.
Oh, well, I'm glad. Lee was wearing a beautiful, beautiful, not quite navy, but a little like an ink color. He wore a tuxedo as well, actually. He was thinking, it's my wedding, I'll do what I want. And he looked amazing. Right. And he had beautiful hair jewelry in his braids. I was going to say, I loved his hair. It was beautifully done, braided like sort of through the center, or plaited, I think you say here, like through the center at the back. And he had this beautiful like hair jewelry, and it looked amazing. And I lent him a bow tie because it was funny, the one thing he sort of forgot, amidst all of the chaos, he forgot to get a tie to wear in London. And I've got lots because I've been collecting, accessories in fashion for years. I made so many things. And he borrowed a tie from me, and I didn't know which one he'd borrowed. He just said, oh, it was sitting in the box, and I just grabbed it. I hope you don't mind. I said, no, of course, help yourself. And I didn't see it until the day. And I said, oh, do you know what tie that is? He said, well, no, it was just sitting in your bow tie case or whatever. And I said, oh, that was my grandfather's tie. So I told my mom, and she got all emotional. Oh, you're wearing my father's tie. It's like he's here with us. So that was just a really nice. Yeah, that was really, really nice.
Oh, God, I'm getting a bit emotional. That's a really nice thought.
So that was really, really special, I have to say. And then I loved that. And he looked so handsome, and it was great. And I loved my suit, and I thought everybody just looked the part, and I loved what you were wearing. You had on those red tartan pants were amazing.
It was houndstooth.
Oh, was it houndstooth? Yeah. Oh my God, in my mind it was tartan.
It was red and pink houndstooth.
Several people had commented on those.
Well, I say, when I walk into a room, I expect to be noticed.
Well, you between the two of you, you were so striking.
Oh, thank you very much. Thank you. We did try our best.
Oh my God, it was amazing. And I mean, for such a venue, and it looked just, in that sort of Gothic revival space. It was just the perfect outfit.
Yeah, the space was absolutely phenomenal. So, I mean, I could not go to your wedding looking stunning. Well, generally speaking, I also don't like to wear general wedding stuff.
No, I think it was absolutely the part. It was perfect. Do you know, have we talked about the history of that room, the ladies' smoking room?
The one that
in London at the St. Pancras?
Or the Spice Girls thing?
No, I was going to say...
Oh, what? It was derelict?
No. Okay, I'll tell you now.
Okay, tell me.
So it was just a very interesting little anecdote. It's not much, but a lot of people know that space because the Spice Girls filmed Wannabe in that space, and that hotel rather. So it was very famous, and everybody was freaking out. And we had so many Spice Girls themed notes and comments, which was great. And we learned on the day that the hotel was derelict. They broke in, they filmed that video, and it, I think, is part of the reason it got bought out and rebuilt, or rejuvenated or whatever, renovated. But no, the room where we had our wedding in London was called the ladies' smoking. Is called the ladies' smoking room, and it's just a little quick thing. It's just fascinating to me to think when that hotel was built. I believe in 1867, I think it was. That room was the first public space that ladies were allowed to be smoking cigarettes in public. Hence why it's called. Yes,
that's such a good fact.
And that's so bizarre to think that there was a time when women were not allowed to actually smoke cigarettes in public. Like,
women weren't allowed to do a lot of things.
Yeah, but would you think smoking of all things?
Of all things, yeah, I suppose.
And so that's why it's called the ladies' smoking room, and it's a historical site.
That's actually a gorgeous fact.
I know.
Add on to your already amazing
It's so bizarre. I mean, I'm not a smoker myself, but I just thought, what a fascinating little anecdote. Like, we went to the venue. They showed us the beautiful room. We loved the room. We picked the room. We found that it was called the Ladies' Smoking Room. And we thought, why is that? And they told us the story. Like,
so in 1867 is when that happened.
That's what I believe. That's the year the hotel was built or opened, something around that era.
Oh, okay.
And that is when that room would have been created,
and used.
And that is when it would have been used. I know.
That's incredible.
I know, isn't it so bizarre?
So you've got two pretty big events attached to that.
Yeah. So that was quite nice.
Women's rights to smoke
Yes.
in public,
Yeah.
and Spice Girls, the epitome of women power.
Well, absolutely. It's very true. It is girl power, isn't it? And it's all, and you think of the fashion and everything that people would have like walked through those rooms, and even bringing it back up again to the sort of 96 or whenever Wannabe came out. And just that movement. I know, isn't that crazy? We're coming up on 30 years.
Stop it.
I know. I still remember seeing
it
for the first time.
Okay, we're getting slightly off topic, but it has to be said. I was obsessed with the Spice Girls. Who
wasn't?
But the amount of times I would act a clown in my room or in school.
Who didn't?
Who were you? Everyone had a Spice Girl that they were.
No, I don't think I was one, but I did love them. And I had this VHS that was like back in Canada, like it was an import. It was all of their music videos on VHS. And then at the end was like a secret video that was the comic relief, Who Do You Think You Are?
Oh, yeah.
And I loved that.
And
so that was my favorite.
That was French. And
I think
when they dressed up as them.
Oh, yeah, I believe so. And that was my absolute favorite. So I used to watch it over and over and over again. And it's nothing to do with why we picked the venue, but again, it just was like this little fun bonus thing. And so many of our friends are around our age, and so many of them were there. Oh, I can't believe we're here. It's the Spice Girls. Like it was a really cute little thing. Yeah.
It's just like a lovely little tidbit to add to the already immense joy of the day.
Well, exactly. And it was beautiful, and everybody appeared to enjoy themselves, and we've had good feedback, and the hotel staff were lovely in both cities. And again, like some of the things that people were wearing, like I can't wait to see it in photos and maybe we'll do something like a toot or a boot. It was just,
that's a good idea.
It was so much fun.
We'll do that. Yeah. We'll do a toot and a boot for John's wedding. Sorry to anyone watching that has gone to the weddings, but you're now subject to a toot and a boot.
Hey, well, it's not up to me. I don't make the rules,
Well, quite right. Just if anyone wants to know, I was always Posh Spice. That comes as no shock.
Really? See, I wouldn't have expected that.
Are you going to say Ginger Spice?
No, I was thinking sporty.
Really?
Yeah.
Why?
I don't know. Or scary.
Okay. I'll see where we're going with this. Actually, they're both very strong. They're all very strong people. But yeah, they're all very... each one's a compliment. Because sporty was very energetic.
Yeah.
And scary was very much like confident in your face. She is who she is.
Yeah.
Both of which are very me.
It's true. It's very true.
God, amazing. You must still be reeling from it. I'm still reeling from it.
Oh, it was so much
incredible.
Fun. It was a really wonderful experience. There were a lot of highs and lows that came with it. There were stress moments. There was a moment where, something went wrong and I thought, don't let it ruin. I had advice from a very good friend who said at her wedding, I forget what it was, but something happened leading up to it on the day, I believe, or the day before perhaps. And it completely jaded her whole experience. And she doesn't really remember enjoying any of it. And I thought, how it is, because again, you put all this time and effort and money into it.
Yeah.
And it's a really sad thing to think. So I thought, don't let that happen. And I feel like I very successfully didn't let that happen. And there were times when, things were tough or families demanding or something goes wrong or something gets lost or broken. Like there were things like that. And it was just nice to try to, think what's done is done and we're going to enjoy ourselves. Our family is here to be with us. Our friends are here to celebrate with us. And there's never an opportunity where things are kind of all about you. You're never the celebrity in the room. So it was weird, but also really nice.
Yeah. And you also did very well to do the rounds, as they say.
Yes, you
both did very well.
Having come from Toronto, where there was 234 people, which is a lot of people, and some things, don't work out. There were a couple of moments where we had to put out a few fires. We lost about an hour. I didn't get to say hello to everybody I wanted to say hello to. I didn't get to have a moment with some people I wanted to have a moment with. Can't worry about it. That's what happens at a wedding.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
But it was really important to me and to us to try to make up for, maybe make up's the wrong word, but to try to have those moments in London.
Yeah.
And thank you for saying that, because we really, I know, at least I really put in the effort and enjoyed it to go around, spend time with people, and try to have people mingle with others who I thought they would mingle well with.
Yeah. Well, it was kind of like natural how it happened. People just kind of gravitated towards the people.
Well, I know everyone gravitates towards you, so I mean, you know, there wasn't much that you could do.
It's the houndstooth. That's what it was.
It was that fabulous outfit.
Yeah, thank you. I'll put pictures of John's the venue, any snaps that I've got of like what people were wearing, what I was wearing. My partner George was wearing like complimentary outfit with a pink suit. I'll put that up as well. Just general snaps of the wedding, because you all need to see how gorgeous John's venue was. His wedding was gorgeous. Yeah, no, you did very well to get around to everyone.
Well, thank you.
And kind of make them feel welcome. And I mean, even the fact that you had like a coffee bar for those that don't drink.
Yeah, it was just really important.
Such a nice touch.
You know, it was just really important for us to try to, as I said earlier, capture everybody that we wanted to celebrate with, but also make it feel, at home is the wrong term, but I think you know what I mean. Just sort of make everyone feel welcome and that they were considered. And at times that was trying. We put a lot of effort in. It doesn't always come back. You think, why are we doing this? But you know what? In the end, it was what we wanted to do. We wanted people to feel comfortable and happy and enjoy themselves, and choose a menu that was suitable for people, choose drinks that were suitable for people, and know that it would mean that they would enjoy themselves. That was a real priority for us. So I'm glad it wasn't unnoticed.
No, I very much noticed it. All the little details. Those are the bits that I enjoy the most, so I couldn't help but notice them. But it was honestly, you did a cracking job, both of you.
Thank you.
But the main thing is, huge congratulations on getting married.
Thank you very much
to the both of you, and the fact that you pulled off 2 weddings, both of which were gorgeous from interior to fashion, as we would come to expect.
Well, I know, and I know it's a lot to talk about, you know, one topic this whole time, and all about sort of us, and you know, weddings are a very specific thing, but it was a creative space. It was filled with a lot of creative people. There were beautiful clothes. There was color, which was so nice. It wasn't just a sea of black satin, although that would have been beautiful. It was bold. There was print. There was color, and that was so special, because we, like I say, we really did try to encourage people, if they asked at least, to wear print and to wear color. A few friends back home in Toronto asked me, you know, I've got a black dress and I've got a red dress, or I've got a black dress and I've got this like t-shirt and skirt combo that I would like to wear, and everyone's saying not to, but what do you think? And I said, go with what you want. Go with the pink t-shirt and the copper skirt. Like, do something bold and different. And they did, and it was made everything feel that much more interesting. And again, like I say, creative and fashion. It was very much, Toronto definitely was like an event in terms of what people were wearing. Less wedding outfits and more you're going to a formal fashion event.
It was more expressive.
It was wonderful. It was really cool.
Well, that's anything to take away from this, is the fact that weddings can be just as fashion forward as at any other event.
Absolutely.
Just because it's a wedding.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And as I say, we really tried to encourage that.
Yeah.
And that was so nice.
Absolutely smashed it. I think that's probably it for this episode. I
think that's a good note to end on.
Absolutely, end on a positive. It was gorgeous all throughout. You'll see what I mean when we start posting stuff. Thank you so much for talking about your wedding. I know it's a very personal thing, but I just think it couldn't go unmentioned.
Well, thank you.
You've done 2, both stunning, within 8 days of each other, and somehow it was immaculate.
Well, thank you.
I'm not sure anyone else could have pulled that off, to be fair. Thank you for tuning in, and for listening to us, and for keeping along with us on this podcast journey that we're doing. Next episode will be in September. As you know, we're monthly. If you have any thoughts, or if you want us to reach out and maybe congratulate the gorgeous John and his now husband, get in touch. the usual email, social media.
Yeah.
It's all in the bio. Feel free to let us know your thoughts. But for now, thank you so much for listening.
Thank you.
And we will see you next time.
Yes.
Bye.